Alright, my name is Spencer Flay and welcome to my very first series. And this one is going to be all about songwriting. In this series I'm going to be showing you how I personally write a song. From the very start to the very end and all that caper in between that may help you write a really good song. First of all, a little bit about myself. My name is Spence and I am not a full-time musician. I am a docker. During the day I drive cranes and I teach people to drive cranes and I drive mobile plant and things like that. My hobby is actually a musician. I started off just by tinkering. I started to learn how to play ukulele and take my ukulele to work with me and learn on my lunch breaks. And I would just tinker and write my own songs as well. I used to write them just for going on tour with my friends and taking the mick out of my mates. And writing cheesy love songs that I would wake up to the next morning and go, that is terrible. I'm hoping that no one ever sees that one. From there I sort of just continued doing it because I was enjoying it. And it started to sound actually quite okay in my personal opinion. And from there I wrote a EP called 30 Meters Above Sea Level. And I called it that because I write my songs up the crane, which is roughly 30 meters above sea level, but that's another story. I wrote this EP, not really knowing what to expect. I sent it off to a couple of people, a couple of radio stations. I actually got a message back from Radio Bristol and they played my entire EP that week and they had me in to play live. And then from there, Radio 4 recognised it and they started playing one of my songs. And I've been on telly and I've been live on the radio and it all went a bit crazy for me because I was not expecting anything like that at all. But the fact is it was just a hobby then and I was just doing this whilst I was a full-time docker. I've played weddings and stuff and done covers but never expected any of my actual own written music to go any further than people, my mates listening to it. So that was quite a nice achievement for me. So I guess what I wanted to do was pass on this information, hoping that a young aspiring or an aspiring songwriter, you don't have to be young to write songs, anyone that just fancied writing a song for the crack can learn something from it. With that, I'm going to kick this off with the melody. It's very important to know that this melody clicks very well with me. I can write something to this quite easily because when I made it, tinkered on the ukulele and I did a slight little gurn. If you don't know what gurn is, it's when you see the ravers doing it and they're just off their nut on music and they are generally just enjoying life and the music is hitting them in a certain way. And that's what I would expect you to do on any instrumental you want to write to. You've got to gurn to it, and if you don't gurn to it, it might not be the one to write to for you. I'm going to show you this melody that I made and I'm also going to show you how I made it. Okay, so I was just sat here in my music room having a little tinker like I do, and I was just playing with these little riffs and I came up with this one and I quite like this one. I'll just show you a quick rough version of what it sounds like. And then so I recorded that into this and this is what it sounds like now. And I added some drums and a little bit of riser. And then as I come up to it, I started getting my keyboard out with a heavy 808 and added a naughty bit of bass. And then to add to it a little bit more, some hi-hats. And that's what I've come up with so far. So we've got a nice little tune. Yes! Okay, that's our melody. I personally know I can write something to that because straight off the bat it reminded me of being in a Spanish bar. So basically I was on a rugby tour skiing trip and we met this guy out there, and he was chatting to a young Spanish barmaid, but they couldn't talk very well, so they started drawing pictures and playing charades of each other to an extent. And it ended up, she drew a picture of a knife and fork and give it to him as if suggests going out for a meal. He turned it around, drew a picture of a knob and then gave it back to her, and then I assume they had a lovely rest of the week. But I can definitely use that. I'm not into that exact story. I wasn't thinking of a porno, but I think we can definitely use aspects of that story, plus the imagery I got in my head from when I first heard that song. So when I first heard it, I'm thinking Spanish bar, what's in a bar, empty bottles, okay, old decor, a stage, a band. Possibly you could go into detail a bit more, like descriptive words like a sticky pub floors. The floors get sticky when there's lots of spilled beer and stuff everywhere. So there's plenty of words there, plenty of ammo we can use to make a half decent song. I did mention the word charades as well. I'm thinking that could be a title. Not 100% sure yet, but we'll see how we get on. So that's how I pretty much start writing a song. And I know this process might sound like quite long, but when you're there in the moment and you can just hear a song, you can just go bang. Oh, that reminds me of something, let's quickly jot it down. We're not going to write down a full story or lines just yet. I mean, you can do, but for now I'm just going to be writing down words that come into my head with that imagery. And that's the whole point I'm trying to get to. If you can imagine it, we want to be able to put that into words. So we're painting the image with words. So I think we're going to leave any more of that to the next episode. If you did enjoy this one, you're more than welcome to subscribe, ready for it, because I'm sure we're going to get into even more songwriting good stuff in the next few episodes. So let me know what you think. Let me know if it brought up some different imagery for you. It's interesting to see other people's points of view and what it reminded other people of. So yeah, please do write that in the comments. And for now, I've been Spence, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.